Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Stupid here, and today we're going to take a look at yet another deck profile from one of the unboxings we did recently. I opened up the Zero Aura and the Deoxys battle boxes that have the V-Stars and the V-Maxes in it. So yeah, we're going to take a look at another one of those decks, but today we're going to start it off with a different Pokemon that's going to fulfill the engine to an extent, but we are definitely playing Deoxys in this list, but we'll start off with a Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. You know what this does. They made a league battle deck for it. 320 HP. You have the ability Underworld Door. You can attach a Psychic Energy from your hand to one of your bench Psychic type Pokemon and then draw 2 cards. And then you got Max Geist for 10 plus 30 times the amount of Psychic across all of your Pokemon. Really strong card. So we've got a 4/4 line. I have 2 promos and 2 non-promos. I wouldn't play the promo. I would just play the regular Shadow Rider V. I just don't happen to have any, which is kind of a shocker. So yeah, we're rocking a 2/2/4, but I would just play 4 of the Shadow Mist, Astral Barrage, just so you know. Shadow Mist, 1 energy, 10 damage. During your next turn, your opponent can't play any special energy or stadium cards from the hand. Can lock out some matchups. And then Astral Barrage for 3 colorless. Choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and put 5 damage counters on each of them. Help you set up some knockouts later on. That does come in handy with this deck so far, especially when we get to the Deoxys. So yeah, we'll start off. We are playing a 2-1-2 split. We'll start with the V, of course. 210 HP. You've got Psychic for a colorless and a Psychic. 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. And you've got Power Edge. Same attack that Arceus V has, but does a little bit more damage here. So yeah, we're playing 2 Deoxys V. I almost said Arceus. And then 2 VSTAR, 270 HP. This attack is super awesome for 2 Psychic and a colorless. Psychic Javelin for 190, and it also does 60 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V. You put a choice belt on this, and you're hitting 220. Which is like almost every basic V. So it's absolutely insane that you can, one-shot a basic V and then put 60 damage on another one. So if they evolve, your 220 gets you there with that 60. It's 280 on the dot for V-Stars. Pretty good. And then the V-Star power is Star Force, 60 times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. So that's pretty insane. 4 energy on here and a choice belt. You're hitting for 270. 5 energy, whatever. And that's just counting your energy, not what they have. So it might even be even easier to get to those massive one-hit KOs for 1 or 2 energy with Star Force. And we are playing a copy of the VMAX. This thing's super chonky. 330 HP. You've got Protective DNA, the ability on this thing. All of your Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V-Star after applying weakness and resistance, which is kind of insane. Makes it a little bit easier for Shadow Rider to survive one-hit KOs. And then you've got Max Drain for 1 Psychic and 2 colorless for 160 and heals 30. So you can definitely get behind this thing and tank. And, just even having it on your bench helps you protect your loaded up energy, maxed out Calyrexes. So definitely keep that in mind. So this deck does play both because you can go between the 2. It's nice to have the V-Star, but it's also nice to be able to tank a little bit more on your V-Maxes. Another list I would consider for Deoxys is sort of similar to the Zero Aura one that we just uploaded a couple days ago with the Lost Engine for the V-Star. You could honestly play Deoxys V-Star Lost Zone, and it would be perfectly fine. You would only have to play like Psychic and Water Energy just for Greninja, or you could play Fire if you want Charizard or whatever, but Deoxys can definitely get there. You don't have to play the VMAX. If you want to play just the VMAX Deoxys, I would probably say look at Art Goo and go that route. If you really want to, let me know down in the comments below, and I will make a separate deck for both Deoxys V and V-Star. I have the means to do so, so just let me know. Continuing on with the Pokemon, we got 2 copies of Crobat V for that Dark Asset ability. When you bench it, draw your hand up to 6. Pretty straightforward. We've got 1 copy of Radiant Gardevoir, Psychic type single prize attacker that you can actually attack with this in the deck. You can load it up with Shadow Rider's ability. Psychic does 70 plus 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, so pretty good there. And then all of your Pokemon take 20 less damage from Pokemon V. So if you get Gardevoir and Deoxys V max out, that's 50 less damage you're taking from V-Stars specifically. So that's really awesome. It really does make Palkia really have to struggle to get there. And we've got a copy of Pumpkin for the Pumpkin Pit to bump out Path to the Peak to turn on all of our abilities again. Onto the supporters, we've got 4 copies of Research. Discard your hand, draw 7. Pretty straightforward. We've got 1 copy of Marnie. Shuffle your hand, put it on the bottom. You know the drill. You get 5, they get 4. I'm rocking 2 copies of Boss's Orders for the gusting effect. And of course, Thornton, one of my new favorite supporters in a lot of these different decks. Thornton lets you turn Crobat and Pumpkaboo into a Deoxys or a Calyrex and then evolve into whatever you need, or even a Gardevoir again if it gets knocked out for whatever purpose. So this is pretty solid, especially with you're still able to just draw so many cards every turn anyways. So you don't always have to play Research to pop off with Calyrex. You can just attach energy, draw 2, so on and so forth. So you can draw a couple cards and still Thornton and still feel pretty good about it. Alright, for the items, we've got 4 copies of Fog Crystal. You can grab a basic Psychic Pokemon or a basic Psychic Energy. So everything except for Crobat is and of course the VMAXs and VSTARs are basic Psychic. So you can grab Gardevoir, Pumpkaboo, Deoxys, and Shadow Rider V. And of course your energy cards that you need to accelerate with Underworld Door. We've got 4 copies of Battle Pass, so you can start off strong with a full bench, and that way you can, turn 2, start evolving Calyrexes and start accelerating energy even faster. We've got 2 copies of Quick Ball, 2 copies of Ultra Ball, and 2 copies of Evolution and Sense. This is to just find your basics, find your evolutions or whatever, or find another evolution. With Evolution and Sense, of course, Ultra Ball and Quick Ball can thin your hand down for Crobat early on to help you draw additional cards. For some damage modifiers, we are playing 2 copies of Choice Belt. Like I said, the 190 from the Deoxys V-Star plus the 30 is 220. Sets up math perfectly fine, and Choice Belt is basically an extra energy in the case of Calyrex VMAX. And then also Deoxys VMAX is 160, so putting that up to 190 to knock out some basic Vs like Crobat, Lumineon feels pretty good. We've got the triple air balloon. Shadow Rider's got a lot of retreat issues. It does have a 2 retreat cost though, so you don't have to discard your energy to be able to pivot around. So you want to have max air balloon to move around. The only thing that can't move from air balloon is Deoxys VMAX has a retreat cost of 3, so just keep that in mind. We've got 1 copy of Ordinary Rod to shuffle back in Pokemon and energy cards, and 1 copy of Palpad to put back supporters, Thornton, Boss, and Marnie. Very low counts, so Palpad's definitely going to help out with that whatsoever. And then we've got 2 copies of Trading Court to round out the Stadium issue here of the deck. Get your energy back from the discard pile and just re-accelerate with Underworld Door and draw more cards. And we are rocking a whopping 12 copies of Psychic Energy. It's pretty straightforward here. Not too little, not too many. 12 seems to be the perfect number for this. Definitely helps out. There's a lot of noise coming from my upstairs neighbors, and if you hear that, I'm really sorry, but they are just like old mean geezers. So I apologize for the craziness if you hear it in the background, of course. If not, no big deal. But yeah, this is the list that I've been rocking. It's been a lot of fun so far. Being able to, turn 2 swing with something for a big knockout, or, the Deoxys to set up multi-prized turns over time with a 60 base feels pretty good. Really liking this deck. It's a lot of fun. I haven't thought I'd build a Shadow Rider deck in forever. We touched Shadow Rider on the channel like way back when it first came out, and I haven't since then. It's been sitting as an expanded deck in a deck box for the longest time, and there's just nobody playing expanded, at least for me and around me in my area, so we scrapped it and slapped this together. But yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, of course, for more Pokemon TCG content and whatever else I might upload. Follow me over on Twitch and go check out the Gust of Wind podcast. We've had a bunch of amazing guests on there. It was cool to see the SLC top 8. We had 2 players in top 8 that were former guests on the podcast. We had Frosted Caribou, who was also doing interviews at SLC, and one of the people they interviewed was Primetime Wizard, and they were both the last 2 guests of the podcast. So if you haven't listened to the Gust of Wind podcast yet, I definitely recommend that you do so. We always have a lot of awesome guests and entertaining people on, so go take a look at that, go listen to that. Links down below as always, and all that kind of nonsense. Buy the merch, buy some code cards, all that stuff. Support. We're so close to whatever we need to do to get to a state of YouTube partnership. That's it for me. I'm ranting at this point, but I'll catch y'all on the next one. Much love. Peace out.